What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Welcome. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for viewing my channel. If your first time viewing this channel, I ask you, please subscribe. Please. If you don't, you're missing out. For those who are already viewing for 2025, we're on a roller coaster ride. We're going in hard, all gas, no brakes, straight up. Now, before I proceed, let me say this. My videos are not for children. This is adult-based content only. So for children's sake, please remove the children from the immediate vicinity. Simple as that. My videos are not for children. Now, also to mention, this does not constitute legal advice, nor does it constitute anything anti-government. Sole purpose of my videos for informational and educational purposes only. Now that we got that out the way, let's proceed. Now, I want to touch on something that is very, very, very relevant. If you have been on this journey, if you have been on this path, if you have been seeking a higher sense of knowledge, okay? A higher sense of knowledge in regards to commercial processes and how they work and how they apply to you, you must understand this. It is a different application from the normalcy of what you think law is. All right? Let's start there. The practice of law, as you know it, was from an indoctrinated standpoint. Okay, people? Irrespective of race, color, creed, nationality, origin, don't give a fuck. It's all the same, all right? The reality of law was nothing more than to keep majority of the masses blinded to the otherwise nefarious agenda of it, which in all is commerce and the dark side thereof. So let's talk about it. In law, I want to talk about one very specific key element that is very important to anybody in their education in regards to how they function in this commercial society we call United States. Okay? Rule number 1, the title of this video is called Incompetency and How It Impacts You. All right? This is the reality of law, people. In law, definition, not my conjecture, incompetency or an incompetent is not having or showing the necessary skills to do something successfully. Again, not having or showing the necessary skills to do something successfully. Okay, that's the adjective. The noun, an incompetent person. Right? So, in law, you have to also understand that in law, there is also another definition that can be applied to the same meaning. Although the two do not synonymously fit together, they are often joined in the contemplation of the realm of law. Age of majority. The age of majority is the age at which a person is legally considered to be an adult. It is when a person gains the right and responsibilities of adulthood. Now, how does this apply to commerce? It applies to commerce as the age of majority from times in the past went from 16 to 18. At the same token, we must understand that the contemplation of the actual word teen, a teenager. So 18 does not normally, in a normal course of existence, qualify you to be an adult. But legally, you're still considered an adult, which is basically like social emancipation. Now, there are some people who can be of a younger age in certain court cases who would just say that they're emancipating for other reasons. But that's not the case in this situation. Majority of the contracts that people have signed that we have gotten ourselves into in this commercial society, we were of that age. First job, whatever the case may be, that was on legal, on the books, on paper. So now we had to understand that this concept has followed us all the way well into our adulthood. Although we weren't unawares of it, you were still considered a child, but legally an adult. Do you understand how confusing this really is to most people who do not get this concept, right? Incompetency and how it affects you. Again, the title of this video is to make you understand and to let you understand that in the bluntness of me saying this, the law deems you stupid as fuck And I don't care about color, nationality, origin, or anything. I don't care about your position in society. You could be rich, you could be poor, you could be middle class. It don't give a fuck. They think everybody's stupid. Okay? Literally. This is the contemplation of law now. This is the contemplation of law. So whenever you go before the courts and you actually get involved in commercial business, they already know you do not understand. It is already presumed that you are a fucking idiot. And the law takes it upon themselves to appoint you one of their guardians. Oops, I'm sorry. One of their attorneys to make sure that the transaction to be turned over to the state, which is the operation of robbing you of your KV trust, so they can operate these bonds and securities on the open market. Yeah, I fucking said it. It's a proven fact. And it's 2025, and if you don't know this by now, well, now you fucking know. Simple as that. With the influx of information that's out there, you shouldn't be blind to this. I'm just saying. I'm not saying nothing that you can't find yourself. Simple. So they appoint their attorney over you because they know that you're a child. You're incompetent. You don't understand what's going on here. We're going to make sure that this transaction goes just the way we want it to. So where you, the live person, is considered incompetent, and not only incompetent, but dead in law as well. So now you are doubly lost. Not only are you considered civiliter mortuus, which means civilly dead, but you're also considered a civilly dead child who is incompetent. So this is the contemplation of law, people. This is one of the reasons why whenever they give you their their attorney, you're not allowed to say anything because remember, dead things don't speak. Okay? So the attorney tells you not to say anything under the guise of the tricky, you can incriminate yourself. You're already presumed in law as guilty, people. It's a fucking game. Okay? Now, we're going to go to non-compos mentis. In law, non-compos mentis is a Latin phrase that means not of sound mind. It is used to describe someone who lacks the mental capacity to manage their affairs or understand legal proceedings. I could swear I just said that before I read this definition from Black's Law Dictionary. How is it used? It is often used in criminal law and civil litigation. It can impact someone's criminal culpability and testamentary capacity. In some cases, a court may appoint a guardian or conservator to manage the affairs of someone who is non-compos mentis. Now, irrespective of a handicap or some other malady of sorts, well-being, like-minded individuals who have no handicap whatsoever in the medical realm or perspective are always deemed non-compos mentis. And the reality is they are ensuring that you stay this way. Because again, this is the operation of the commercial venture to keep you ignorant on how this works. They're not telling you that when you accept the plea, you're becoming surety for a debtor. They don't tell you that now you become corporate property. They don't tell you that you now go under administration instead of a judiciary process. They don't tell you that now you are considered as chattel. They don't tell you that they usurp your security interest. They don't tell you that they're not reporting this case to the IRS. They don't tell you shit because you're mentally incompetent. You ain't supposed to know this. But now you do in less than 9 minutes. 10, I should say. In reality, this is how they work. Incompetency and how it affects you. See, when you're competent, and let's put the shoe on the other foot. When you're competent, when you exercise due diligence, when you exercise propria personam, when you exercise competency, you are a threat. For the simple fact of the matter, you aren't supposed to know this because presumption of law dictates that you are supposed to be stupid, ignorant, willfully at that. But again, people, you must understand, in order for people to remain in a place of power, they must hide the knowledge and the information from the many. And this is the truth. First time someone gets tired of a legal altercation with some degree, whether minor or major, the first thing they do is run to a guardian. Attorney. Simple. But that's not the route to go when you're competent. When you're competent, an attorney sends you an invitation to be your guardian, what you're supposed to do is tell that attorney to go fuck yourself. With all due respect. You're supposed to tell them to get lost. I can handle my own business. But this is when you are a power of attorney in fact. This is when you are the beneficiary to any action commercially. This is when you are not acting as the debtor entity, which so often gets people in commercial trouble. Because remember, the straw man don't have a brain, but you do. You do. You have the competency enough to represent yourself. Who better to represent themselves in any matter than one who has the first-hand knowledge? So that whole idea of anything you say can and will be used against you as a court is because they don't know any better. The only way they can know about something is if you open your fucking mouth. But majority of people, whenever they get into a bind, they start talking. That's your problem. You become your own witness against yourself. That is why you have the right to remain silent. No, it is your duty to shut the fuck up. It's not a right. Because according to the Constitution, those can be taken away by a plea agreement when you're under admiralty jurisdiction / administration. Those rights can be taken away. The same rights that the individuals who are sentencing you to jail and to prison are supposed to uphold, but they don't, because of the sake of commerce. As Bone Thugs and Harmony said, for the love of money. Simple as that. The same rights that they're supposed to uphold, the same oath of office they're supposed to adhere to, they don't. Because again, majority of society is non-compos mentis. You are not mentally competent. You are out of your league. And courts, by nature and design, are supposed to have this plenipotentiary environment to where you are intimidated and succumbing to their agenda. Let's not get this messed up, people. You are under attack. It's not about a physical one. It's about war in contracts. That is the silent war that has been waged against society, whether you believe it or not. But you don't have to take my word for it. Who am I? I'm just a voice on the YouTube universe. But I tell you what, I'm not mentally incompetent. Whenever it comes time for me to deal with my manners and my affairs, irrespective of what they may call me and what they may say, one thing will speak volumes, because in commerce, truth is sovereign. So I stand by the truth, irrespective of the devices and the machinations against the system. I do not care, but I am not going to accept the liability or pretended liability on behalf of public officials who swore to pay the debts of others as a constitutor. But you don't have to take my word for it. You cut this video off and act like I said nothing. Go back to being non-compos mentis and let them decide the fate for you. Or you can continue to subscribe and get this knowledge, and you can take the bull by the horns yourself. But remember, the choice is yours and yours alone. Simple as that. And I'm just an individual who's a light post. All praise is due to the Most High. But when it comes down to me dealing with legal circumstances, I extinguish them. Number one, I obey natural law, the divine law of the Creator. Simple as that. You obey the divine law, you'll never have to tangle with these people. But unfortunately, in this commercial world, you got to involve yourself to an extent. But remember, as a competent, you never accept the liability. No. That means when you don't accept the liability, you don't fall into dishonor, but I'm not taking the punishment, and I'm not taking the punishments in regards to something that don't exist. If you want he or she to take that punishment, then you get them here. Other than that, I do not accept the liability, and I waive the benefits as a competent person. Now, you want that individual on that paper to bear with the liability. You put that piece of paper in the jail cell, bitch. The fuck you talk about? Because that's the only thing that's going to jail. I ain't harm a person or property. I'm so sorry. I can't help you. I cannot give you the remedy that you're looking for, which is for me to accept the liability as a competent individual. I can't accept that. Simple as that. For those of you who need to study some materials in regards to Admiralty Court, since I don't gatekeep over here, what you need to do is get you some material. Get you a read material, okay? It's called The Practice and Jurisdiction of the Court of Admiralty in 3 parts. It's by John E. Hall, Esquire, okay? Hard copy. Understand that the practice in that book that is described is what started the American Revolution. I shit you not. Because powers that so-called be came to the coastlines of indigenous land on behalf of a purported idea of doctrine of discovery. Do your research on that. Who decided to otherwise tell the indigenous people of this land that these are the laws, codes, rules, regulations that they must obey. Now, in reality, it's not law. It's an edict behind a tyrannical ecclesiastical corporation called the Vatican, who came, saw, and conquered. Although, if you do your due diligence and research, their organic constitution isn't organic at all. Simple as that. When you understand that the United States Corporation is nothing more than a copy of original native title government, like the Iroquois Confederacy, the Iroquois Constitution, what they don't talk about. It's nothing organic about that Constitution. All they did was set it into corporate bylaws and policies to basically give themselves a seat, but no more than 10 miles square. But you must educate yourself, this particular knowledge, people. You must educate yourself in this. For you to understand that this is your land. And if you don't understand that, and if you don't get that, sorry for you. Let contracts wreak havoc over your life with you not being able to manage none of it. But if you have the gall and the wherewithal to stand up, do what you must. You must do what you must. Because the Creator did not create no man or free woman to be a bond servant or someone else's slave. This was not the divine command of the Most High. This was man's pursuit on greed and establishing a ultra vires de facto government on land that doesn't belong to them. How about that for Melanated History Month? So with that being said, people, you're either going to be non-Compos Mentis or you're going to stand in propria personam. But the choice is yours alone. If you wish to seek private consultation to become more competent and have correct standing and not be considered a dead and dumb, because how you even be dead and dumb at the same time? Contemplation of law makes that thing crazy, but it works in their realm. If you want to stand properly as a competent man or woman, consult with me privately, it is what it is, because certain things I just won't say online because it will consider itself to be, it'll be construed to be legal advice. My email is in the video description and in the comment section below. Understand this, people. It's time. It's 2025. Are you going to sit there and wait for something to happen, or are you going to happen to it? The choice is yours, and yours alone. Simple as it is, it's your choice. And I digress. Peace, light, love. Agents, fuck you. 10-4. I'm out. Y'all stay tuned for the next upload.